What's up YouTube, it's Updated TCG here and welcome back to another TCG deck profile video on my channel. We are preparing ourselves for the Pokémon TCG World Championships and today's deck profile up on the menu will be the updated Maridon deck with the eels. That's right, Maridon is back on the top table, so hopefully you guys are excited for this video. If you are, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It helps out in many ways to support the channel. I'm forever grateful if you would do so, and also let me know in the comment section down below which deck you want to be seeing up next. So let's talk about this deck list, shall we? So why is Maridon back for the Pokémon TCG World Championships? Well, first of all, we have Tandem Unit, which is going to be able to get your little Dynamos out from the deck quite easily. As you all know, Dynamotor is back. It's the same ability as Flaffy from Evolving Skies, and we did know already from results from the past that having access to Dynamotor and Maridon makes this deck obviously way better. So there's going to be one step in the right direction here for Maridon. You get energy acceleration back on top of the electric generators, which is great because otherwise in the late game you just fizzle out, and if you do have a couple of electric on board, your board state is way better. So yeah, Maridon back at the top tables. Love to see it. This is going to be my 60 that I'm currently rocking, that I'm using in my testing. We have 2 copies of the Menace itself, Iron Hands EX, allowing you to take an additional prize card with the amp you very much. This is going to be the main way you take prizes in the beginning of the game. You go for amp you very much, and you're going to be taking prize cards on Dreepies, Rolls, yeah, anything that has low HP. Think about an Impidimp as well, so you're going to be able to take an additional prize card quite easily if the Iron Hand survives with the help of something like a Bravery Charm, or the opponent doesn't have the answers to deal with it. You can take 4 prize cards with the Iron Hands. And then we have one cool attacking Pokemon option left, and that's going to be the new Zekrom EX. This is quite a menace here. With the Voltage Burst, you're going to be able to slap 130 damage plus 50 more for every prize card the opponent has taken. You're also slapping 30 damage to yourself, but who cares when you're taking that many prize cards? Let's just be honest. If the opponent has taken 4 prize cards, you're actually slapping 330. So this is going to be a nice way to deal with Charizard EX. You amp you very much a couple of turns on Charmanders and all that. Maybe you even go for an arm press on a Pidgeot EX and finish off with a Voltage Burst. That's how you take prize cards. This is going to be your beat stick at the end of the game. If the opponent has not taken 4 prize cards, it still slaps a reasonable amount of damage. If the opponent has taken 2 prize cards, it slaps 230, which is also a number that going to be helping out against opposing Iron Hands. This again help out against knocking out like stuff like Pheasantipity, all that good stuff happening for Zekrom EX. And with an additional prize being taken by the opponent, you're actually slapping 280 damage, enough to deal with Anzorowar, Goldango EX, for example. So a very strong card for the Lightning deck. And in the past, we relied on the Raichu as our late game beat stick Pokemon. Raichu V has rotated, as you all know, but now with Voltage Burst, you're going to be having an answer to it. What else we have in this deck? Yeah, as mentioned, this is going to be the late game beat stick, but we need to have a way to power it up. You can, of course, have a little bit of YOLO behavior with the electro generators, but what better way to do it than with classic Dynamotor? So this Eelektrik allows you to accelerate a lightning energy from the discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. This is going to be super useful to power up Zekrom. Sometimes you have luck with your electric generator. Sometimes you only have 1 hit, which actually does not matter because Dynamotor attached of the turn, hitting 1 energy of a generator. So having access to these eels will be very powerful. You might think, oh, should I run something like, for example, Magneton instead, because that gives up prize cards and it's going to be helping out with the Zekrom, slapping more damage when the opponent least expects it? Yeah, maybe you can go with a split line, but I'm a big fan of playing the eels just for good old sake. Zac Eels was one of my favorite decks when I started the Pokemon TCG in the competitive scene, so that's why I'm playing a 2-2 line, and it's also very good because you're a little bit Iono proof, and you also don't give up prize cards, and that's why I'm a big fan of the Eelektrik. That's going to be great. Next up, we're going to be having 2 copies of Dynamo, and this is going to be very good as well because you can use the Dynamo as a lead. It has free retreat, which has perfect synergy with electric generators, so you always love starting it off. You lead with the Dynamo, and then you're going to be able to generate on a Pokemon on the bench and instantly start attacking. So a 2-2 line of the eels. We also have a new tool card, giving it, of course, the 2 retreat cost reduction, so your eel, your Zekrom, or whatever, could be trapped in the active position. I know we have Latias for the basic Pokemon, but we also come back with Air Balloon, so there is that. Continuing on, we have some support Pokemon. I'm a big fan of playing 2 copies of Squawkabilly. You want to be going fast. This is an aggro deck. It always wants to go second and wants to start swinging ASAP. So that's why we're playing 2 Squawkabilly. And we're also going to be seeing the support line later up on the line. That's going to be Carmine. That's going to force us to actually draw so many cards that you're actually finding those generators manually. And that way you can already start swinging. And I also use the motivation from time to time if there's enough energies in the discard pile. Sometimes you can go for the motivate to just charge up an Iron Hands. It is possible like that. So 2 copies of the Squawkabilly. You don't want them being priced. Hisuian Heavy Ball is no longer a thing that we have access to. So it only makes sense that we're going for 2 copies of Squawkabilly. Then the other bench Pokemon that are gonna help us out is Pheasantipede. As you all know, this draws cards as soon as you're knocked out, which you need because you don't have a built-in draw engine. We do have 1 copy of the Mew EX with the restart, and the cool thing is Mew EX can now be a very viable way as an attacker because with the Eels, it's very easy to power up. If you have 2 Eels up in play, this Mew can get charged up out of nowhere. So be careful of the genome hacking, folks. It can happen more than you think. Then we're going to be playing 1 copy of Latias for free retreat. Sometimes you do start with the Iron Hands EX with a monstrous retreat cost. Latias puts it down to 0 retreat cost, which really helps out. You don't always have to slap it down. There are still worlds out there where you are Maractus trapped, which is kind of annoying. Then you have to just focus on having only attacking Pokemon on your field. So there's that. We also have the Blood Moon Ursaluna as a late game sweeper. Also, with Blood Moon and Eels around, you can attack with Blood Moon a little bit easier than ever before. So you have access to Blood Moon and you have access to Zekrom depending on the situation. Sometimes you get Iono to like 1. You have your Mew on board and the only thing you need is Boss Blood Moon. That's going to be a nice way to get yourself started. And then also Iron Bundle. I love pushing the opponent's active down to the bench because Iron Hands wants to prey upon 1 prize Pokemon with the MP very much. Sometimes there's a big Dragapult EX in our way and we don't want to deal with that quite yet. And that's where the Iron Hands can come into play. If the opponent is not careful enough and they're taking 4 prize cards, Zekrom EX can also deal with high speed threats like, for example, Charizard EX, Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX, Dragapult EX, etc. You can also think about adding in maybe Prism energies on top of the, we're going to be playing a lot of lightning energies in this 60, but you can also try and out the Prism energy because that means you can add in tech cards. Think about the Wellspring Ogerpon, something I was thinking about. There are ways where you can attack in specific answers, like for example, if you are able to accelerate with Eelektrik to any Pokemon you want, there's even the option to add in Lily's Clefairy EX as well. But yeah, we're not on that. We're just playing a very high consistent deck, and that's why I love playing with Zach Eels or Maridon 2.0 if you want to be calling it that. Our main supporter is going to be the Carmine. So as you all know, Budu is around in the format. And in the testing, we have determined that playing Carmine is better than Arven, as the opponent, if you don't find your Arven, let's say the opponent forces you to go first and go for an item lock, the Arvens are pretty much dead wave. And with Carmine, if you go first, you have Carmine and Squawkabilly. The only thing you need to do is dig deep into the deck, find your generators, and off you go to the races with Ampu very much. I know Iron Hands does require you to have 4 energy, so maybe it is also not a bad idea to go first. If you are forced to go first, you can always go for Carmine, which you can still use on your very first turn of the game. Then follow that up with 3 copies of Research. As you all know, there is a lot of discard synergy here because if you discard energies, you can get them back with the Dynamotor ability of the Eelektrik. And that's why I think playing aggro is great. We still have 1 copy of Iono in here on top of a Pokegear. So there is still a world where the deck is thinned out completely where, oh, I need the Iono. You have the Pokegear and the Iono to make it happen. You don't typically focus on disruption. You just want to go aggro. That's why we have Squawkabilly, Carmine, and Research. Continuing on, we also have 3 copies of Boss's Orders. This is how you win most of your games. Blood Moon Boss is a capability. Blood Moon Zekrom EX in combination with Eels is a possibility. You only have 4 generators, but with the Eelektriks, you can just have a lot of attackers up and ready to go. I was also thinking about adding in the Zekrom from the Destined Rival set to actually snipe. If you want, you can cut 1 Boss's Orders and add in the Zeraora, which also allows you to snipe for 210, which could be a nice deal because stuff like Latias, Mew EX, Pheasantipede could go down to that strategy as well, but it does require you to have 3 lightning energies. I'm a bigger fan of Blood Moon Boss, but it is all your personal playstyle and you're testing for the upcoming season or the Pokemon TCG World Championships. For me, 3 Boss's Orders is just classic. Next up, we're gonna be playing 4 copies of Nazball. No, information needed here. Nazball finds, of course, your Maridon. Maridon can get yourself Dynamo, double Dynamo, so that's already great. Nazball can get your Squawk ability, so you can actually play the game. So it's gonna be fantastic. 4 copies of Ultra Ball. You want to be finding those eels, but it's also very useful to get, of course, your hand thinned down, so you can actually rely on Mew EX to draw yourself some cards. With a high amount of Ultra Ball, the consistency is there to just get yourself started. 2 Squawk and 8 Ball Engine cards. You will be able to play the game most of the time with this archetype. Then the most important card in the entire deck, it will be the Eelektrik generators. This is gonna help out to, of course, power up your Pokemon. There's a world where you can go, generator, attach of turn, and go for an arm press with Iron Hands. It is possible. We are not playing any Pokemon that requires only 2 energies to attack, so that's a little bit tricky. But in my opinion, there is also a world, if you're playing the Arven build, you can go for the TM Evo strategy and get like a 3-3 line of Eelektrik. That's also something I saw people doing here. But in this situation, we're going turbo aggro, and it doesn't matter if you just go for something like an arm press on the first turn. Most people will not be able to respond to that, and then you can just amp your way to victory later. Okay, generator, as mentioned, Iron Hands needs 4 energy, so I think the list sometimes performs better going first, as you will have your first turn energy dropment on the Iron Hands, and then with Karma and Squawk ability, it actually flows a little bit better going first. If you go second, there's donking capabilities, I know, but if you go first, you will already have access, but on the other hand, if the opponent then starts swinging with an item lock Budu, you will not be able to use your generator, so you have to go very turbo, Carmine and Squawk ability to get those energies in the discard pile and then draw into an Eelektrik to get yourself going, because Eelektrik generators will be shut off for the rest of the game that way. So this list can play either going first, going second. It can play both sides. We have a Pokegear on top of the supporters we currently are rocking with. This is going to allow you to just dig to find them. There's a stretcher, because you're going to be throwing away a lot of stuff here with Karma and Squawk ability, so getting a correct Pokemon back is great. Super Rod, you can fish back your eels, and that's going to be the main way it's being used, but sometimes you can also get back like an Iron Bundle and get that back with a Nazball, or same goes if a Phasantipity goes down, can also be working out like that. And then Prime Catcher is the A-Spec card of choice, because that's going to allow you to just have enough gust to get yourself the victory, and also works out if you do get Maractus trapped. So Maractus trapping is one of the most annoying things that can happen to you, so that's why Prime Catcher is also still here. If you're still afraid of getting trapped, there's also a world where you add in a physical copy of Switch. Continuing on, we're having 1 copy of Bravery Charm, could push our HP to a higher level and also could protect our bench hitters for a little bit. Sometimes you want to save your Phasantipity, which got like a ping from a Hawlucha, for example. Sometimes you want to have a Blood Moon with 310 HP in combination with an Iono. Whatever the case is, having extra HP is nice. Definitely on your Iron Hands, because Iron Hands definitely wants to be taking 4 prize cards, as we all know and love. Then there is 2 copies of the Air Balloon in here. The Air Balloon is a new tool card, actually a reprinted tool card, allowing you to actually get 2 retreat cost less. This means that Eelektrik has free retreat. It means Zekrom has free retreat. It also means you can get your Blood Moon retreated for just 1 energy, so there's also those situations. This does not help against Maractus trapping, but it is very nice, because Switch is a card that actually needs to be slapped down, and if sometimes it gets research or Iono the way, whether with the Air Balloon, whether you go for Tandem Unit and already equip the Air Balloon onto a Dynamo and then you Squawk or research away. So I think the Air Balloons are better, but you're a little bit more weak to Maractus trapping. It all comes down to if a lot of people will play Maractus at the World Championships, but I wouldn't mind if you just cut an Air Balloon for a regular copy of Switch. And then for the energy, we're actually playing 14 lightning energies, because Eelektrik generator really needs to do its job. And on the other side, there's also a world where you whiff your generators too much. So I think 14 is a perfect number. You could even increase the number if you want to, but I think 14 is the magical charm, because at one point they will begin going into discard pile, and then Eelektrik can fetch them up with the Dynamotor ability. So there's, as mentioned, 14 energies to help yourself through the games. So this is the updated Maridon EX deck. Maridon did well at the last World Championships with Jesse Parker. Will they try out this exact 60? Will they come up with the Arven strategy and Team Evo with a very thick line of Eelektrik? I don't know, because if you go for TM Evo, you're not attacking on your very first turn, but on the other hand, most of your attacks do require you to have a lot of energy spot. Yeah, there's definitely a debate going on left and right, because we're not having an attacker like Raikou, which is easy to set up, so sometimes there is a world where you use Motivate to just power yourself up. I know most decks out there will just respond with something like, the item locking shenanigans, so there's a very good chance that Maridon will actually become, a tier B or a tier A deck, depending on the build, to actually represent lightning decks at the World Championships. As mentioned, the Black Bolt set does provide us with Zekrom and Eelektrik and Air Balloon, so these are additional pieces that were missing to Maridon. Having energy back from the discard pile, that is something that we were missing. I know we had Magneton, but then something like, the Magneton really is giving your opponent more prizes, so that also means the opponent will be able to attack more easier with something like a Blood Moon. So there is definitely a debate going around about playing Magneton over Eelektrik. Sometimes people are playing a 1-1 line of each. I'm a big fan of Eelektrik myself, but I want to hear your opinion down below. This is the updated Maridon deck, now having a heavy hitter with Zekrom EX. Let me know down below in the comment section how you feel about this list. If you enjoyed it, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video very shortly. Also, go check out our sponsors. They make the daily content possible. Level up your game with TC Evolutions. Breathtaking damage counters, special condition tokens, and ability markers. Precision, style, power. Use coupon ZapdosTCG for 10% off only at TC Evolutions. Okay, also go check out dragonshield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. You can get 5% off on everything on the website. I'm personally using yellow matte sleeves. You can get any color you want. Go check them out, dragonshield.com. PowerHouseStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. You can get them with instant email delivery. You can get them with 5% off using the coupon ZapdosTCG. And cardmarket.com for European players, where you're able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. You can use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments which deck you want to be seeing up next, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great one. Peace.